Have you ever wondered why so many brilliant stories by women were never told? Why history seems filled with men's voices while women's creativity remained invisible? Virginia Woolf asked the same question almost a century ago, and her answer is still shocking, still relevant, and still powerful. In 1929, Virginia Woolf wrote A Room of One's Own, an essay that would shake the literary world. It's not just a call for women writers, it's deep, unflinching exploration of society, creativity, and freedom. Through it, Woolf asks a single profound question: what would it take for a woman to write fiction? Woolf begins with a story. She walks into a library full of books and history. She notices something striking. The shelves are stacked with men's voices. Women's writing exists, but not in fragments, often dismissed or forgotten. It was only in fragments. She reflects on the barriers women face, not because they lack talent, but because society never gave them space to think, to be alone, to create. Woolf imagines a woman trying to write in a world that doesn't want her words. She is constantly interrupted, limited, or overlooked. And that's when Woolf introduces her central idea. A woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. But what does Woolf mean by a room of one's own? She isn't just talking about four walls and a door. She means privacy, independence, and the freedom to think without fear, guilt, or interruption. A room symbolizes autonomy, the ability to create without needing permission. She examines history and sees the pattern. Women have always been denied the autonomy. They were confined to domestic life, expected to serve family first, dreams second. Even the brilliant women of the past often wrote in secret, their work hidden from the world. Woolf also emphasizes money. Financial independence is crucial because without it, women are dependent on men, on society, on systems that control their lives. Money gives choice, money gives freedom. Freedom allows creativity to flourish. She points out that men for centuries had this privilege as a given. They could study, travel, and experiment. Women had to fight for these same rights, and many were denied entirely. One of the most famous parts of the essay is Woolf's thought about this experiment. The imagined sister of William Shakespeare. Imagine if Shakespeare had a sister, equally talented, equally ambitious. She would have grown up in a society that saw her intellect as dangerous, unnecessary. She would have been forced into marriage, restricted to household duties, and denied education. Her genius would wither in silence while her brother went to create timeless plays. She would fade into obscurity, not because of lack of talent, but because the world would not let her thrive. Woolf uses this to illustrate the tragic waste of women's potential throughout history. She shows us that gender, not ability, often dictated who could leave a mark on the world. Woolf also explores how women are depicted in literature. She criticizes male writers for portraying women through stereotypes, often one dimensional, passive, or idealized. By contrast, she imagines what women could write if they had the freedom to explore their own experiences. Complex, vivid, real human lives. She looks at examples of women, writers, past and present, noting how rare it was for them to publish successfully. Even when they did, they often had to navigate societal disapproval or conceal their true selves. Beyond history and literature, Woolf's essay is philosophical. She argues that creative work requires inner freedom, the space to observe, reflect, and imagine. Without it, a writer's potential is limited, trapped by the expectations and pressures of the world. Her message is universal. Creativity cannot thrive under oppression or constant interference. Whether you are a woman in 1929 or a young writer today, the lesson is the same. Find your space, claim your time, and protect it fiercely. So, what does this mean for us now? Virginia Woolf reminds us that freedom, financial, personal, intellectual, is essential for creation. She reminds us that society must nurture talent, not limit it. And she reminds us that voices once silenced deserve to be heard. Her room of one's own is more than a literal space. It is a symbol of possibility, independence, and self expression. It's an invitation to every person with a story to tell. The world needs your voice. So, if you have ever doubted yourself, felt unseen, or wondered if your ideas matter, take Wolf's advice. Find your room, claim your space, protect your freedom, because every voice once given room to breathe has the power to change the world. Students, if you have understood, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you believe in the power of stories, especially those waiting to be told. Virginia Woolf gave us the words, now it's your turn to make them live.